Welcome into a Reaction Monday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yow, joined as always by Mo Patton. Mo, what's going on?
It's Crazy Monday.
Crazy Monday indeed.
Crazy Monday. But I guess we're going to react to it, huh?
We are. It was a crazy weekend, as a matter of fact, and we're just going to keep going into Monday, reacting to all the things that is news. All of them.
All.
Including some breaking news about an hour ago involving an SEC baseball team. So, plenty of news to get to today. And we will get to it very shortly. We have coming up for you on today's show, 24/7 Sports, Ben McKee, whose Twitter handle, he and I may have to fight over the 14. I don't know.
I would hope not. I mean, it's not like it's copyrighted. It's not like three-peat or anything like that.
I know, but like, can we really have? I don't know. I don't know if there's room enough for two of us.
Well,
we'll
I mean,
see.
it's a relatively popular number, you know. I mean, David Price, Pete Rose,
Chris Yow,
Ben McKee.
Ben will join us in just a few moments to talk about Tennessee and Southern Miss. They'll play Game 3 tonight. We'll get into that more as well. Also, Main Street Sports' Brady McATAMNey, who moonlights on occasion for Bless You Boys and SB Nation, talking a little Detroit Tigers, and we'll get into that. Looking forward to it here in just a moment. He'll be with us at 3 o'clock. We've got Braves Road to Omaha, rapid fire reaction, and boy, some interesting stuff in rapid fire reaction in the final segment today, Mo, so it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, looking forward to this show, but before we get into it, Mo, let's dive into the weekend results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Summer League Baseball post-19 goes up to Kentucky and shows up and shows out. They get 4 wins over the weekend. 10-4 over Owensboro, Kentucky post 9. 3-2 over Paragould, Arkansas's post 21. 11-10 against Jefferson City, Missouri, post
Pitcher's
5.
duel.
Yeah. And another 11-run outing against Tupelo, post 49, 11-4, the score there. Major League Baseball action, the Braves take 2 of 3 from Washington, 3-2, 6-4, but falling on a Sunday, 6-2. The Athletics continue their hot streak, 5 in a row now after they sweep the Brewers, 5-2, 2-1-10, and 8-6. How about that? Matter of fact, I actually bet on Oakland in Game 1 because a buddy of mine, he said his metrics were showing that Oakland was going to cover and win, and they did. So how about that?
There you go. Also in Major League Baseball action over the weekend, the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to Cincinnati, winning the opener 7-4 before Cincinnati came back for an 8-4 and a 4-3 victory. The Cubs took 2 of 3 from San Francisco, winning 3-2 and 4-0, falling 13-3 as Brandon Crawford made his pitching debut in that one. Shortstop.
That's what I want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. The Guardians took 2 of 3 from the Astros, winning 10-9 and 14. Houston winning the middle game 6-4 before Cleveland came back for a 5-0 victory. And in minor league baseball action, the Sounds and Jacksonville split a pair yesterday. The Sounds winning 6-4, Jacksonville winning 8-4 for a split of the, well, no, it couldn't have been a split.
No, there was I think the Sounds won 3-2.
No, wait a minute. It was a 6-game series.
That's right.
Because
there was
Friday and
doubleheader.
Saturday both got rained out. Yes. So they split the 6-game series. There we go. 3 games.
Because there was a doubleheader on Tuesday, but one of the weekend games got canceled, so it ended up, instead of being 7, being 6.
Well, Friday got canceled.
Right.
And then Saturday got canceled.
I think they finished Friday. I'm pretty sure that the top game. Either way, Jacksonville scores 4 runs in 5 of the games, and then doubled that in the Sunday finale.
There you go.
College baseball action: Florida 5, South Carolina 4, and then the Gators advance with a 4-0 win over the Gamecocks. Duke took game 1, as we told you, 5-4 over Virginia on Friday, but the Cavaliers come back and advance to Omaha with 14-4 and 12-2 wins. TCU takes a pair from Indiana State, 4-1 and 6-4. And Oregon takes game 1 against Oral Roberts, 9-8 in comeback fashion, by the way. But Oral Roberts took that personally and win the next 2, 8-7, 11-6. Oral Roberts, the former 4 seed, making their way to Omaha.
Oh, they're still the 4 seed.
Yeah. Well,
They're just a 4 seed in Omaha. Third time in CWS history that has taken place, to my understanding. Also, they call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Call them Deacon Blues. Wake Forest sweeps Alabama 5-4 in game 1, 22-5 with 9 home runs in game 2 to advance. Top seed at Wake Forest heading to Omaha. Also, LSU with a 14-0 and an 8-3 win over Kentucky advances. Texas wins game 1 at Stanford 7-5, falls in game 2, 8-3. Game 3 on tap. Ditto in Hattiesburg as Southern Miss defeated UT in the opener 5-3. Tennessee bounces back for an 8-4 comeback victory, scoring 8 unanswered runs in that win. Game 3 upcoming. We'll get to that in a moment. NBA Finals action. Denver with a 108-95 win over Miami. They now lead that series 3-1. Speaking of 3-1, Vegas with a 3-2 win over Florida. Tough go for Florida teams in championship action. The Golden Knights take a 3-1 lead in the Stanley Cup final.
WNBA action over the weekend. New York, big win over Atlanta, 106-83. It was Dallas 90, Phoenix 77, Indiana Fever 71, Minnesota 69. It was the LA Sparks 77-62 winners over Chicago. Washington takes care of Seattle on.
Yes.
I don't know if which night it was that they retired Sue Bird's number. So Washington 73, Seattle 66. New York on Sunday with a 102-93 win over Dallas. It was Las Vegas 93 and Chicago 80. The Washington Mystics 71-65 over Seattle, and Connecticut with 89-77 win over Atlanta, it was Phoenix 85, Indiana 82, and Minnesota 91, LA 86.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me the Storm lost
On Sue
on
Bird
Sue
night.
Bird night?
I don't know how you do it.
Yikes.
Yikes,
Couldn't be
right.
my team. Nashville Soccer Club in Toronto played to a 1-1 draw in Major League Soccer. Baseball tonight, 5:40. Braves at Detroit. 6:45. Giants at St. Louis. 7:10. On the MLB Network, you can see Cincinnati at Kansas City. College baseball action. Last two teams heading to Omaha will be decided tonight as
Maybe. Weather permitting.
Southern Miss and Tennessee play Game 3 starting at 5 o'clock on ESPN2. Texas and Stanford at 7 on ESPN. That's the schedule. We'll see what happens. NBA Finals, Game 5, Miami at Denver. That's a 7:30 tip on ABC, and that is your rundown.
Our top story is the road to Omaha. Joining us in our first segment, since we got a lot of responses a little bit at a time, Christopher Gabriel. We will bring him in now. I know, Christopher, you weren't ready for this. You were waiting to see what we were going to talk about, but we appreciate you hopping in here, and we want to go ahead and get you in because we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on on the road to Omaha. But obviously, Tennessee still yet to determine their fate. It's in their hands. How are you feeling as a Vols fan?
Well, first of all, good to see you both. Hope you're both doing well. Always, I appreciate you inviting me back. You know, I'm feeling pretty confident. I mean, I'm probably not breaking news here, and I think we all understand that this pitching staff is terrific, and it's set up beautifully based upon what happened yesterday. You know, a lot has been made about the fact that the site Southern Miss got to host. As a fan, I was bothered by that a lot. As a broadcast journalist, taking the Tennessee Vols hat off, I get it. I understand. And I hope that this is a message. Before we get to the game, I hope this is a message to Danny White, who I am a huge fan of, and I think he's terrific. But if this was a situation where Neyland Stadium was looking at making some renovations or anything, and we've seen that in the past, the cranes would be lined up outside of Neyland right now, all the way down to the river. But the priority for the Tennessee baseball program is it's not as urgent, and they need to have a sense of urgency. And the plans that they submitted, you know, turning the park into a 5,400, 6,000 seat park, I'm sorry, forgive my English, that ain't going to cut it. If you want to compete with LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, Kentucky, all schools that have good programs with great parks, they need to do something. As for the game today, I like what I saw yesterday in Game 2. It seemed like, well, it didn't seem like, the bats finally showed up in the dugout and things got started. The avalanche of hits and big bombs started. I think that if this team, and I said this on Knoxville radio, guys, before the playoffs started, if the bats show up the way we know they can, if the pitchers simply do what they are able to do in terms of the talent level, this team can get to Omaha. Can they win in Omaha? I don't know. There's a couple of teams there that are significantly better on paper and on the field than the Vols, but we don't have to worry about that. They need to dispose of Southern Miss today, and I think the key to a win, guys, is getting out of that first inning and getting a lead. It's as tried and true as anything, but this team, give this team a lead, give this staff a lead, and I think they will be just fine. I'd like to think that maybe they broke a little bit of Southern Miss's spirit yesterday with the way they played that game.
Guess the bats did get hot after they busted the donut bat weight on the on the ground.
It feels like this UT team almost has to have a chip on its shoulder, and it's a daily thing. I mean, because they didn't have it early on Friday, and Andrew Lindsay got off to a slow start, and the offense wasn't able to recover really in that first game. But it feels like this team plays better angry.
Mo, I think you're right. There's a couple of parts to this. In fact, I agree with you 100%. They feed off of the vibe that is their coach and the culture that has become this program. And it's a vibe that I like. I think we all dig it. But at the same time, I would like to see this team, and we've seen this with Josh Heupel of football. I'd like to see this program get past that, because when you talk about a team, a program in any sport at the collegiate level that plays with a chip on their shoulder, we do better when we're the underdog. I don't want Tennessee teams to be the underdog anymore. I want Tennessee teams to be the big dog. I want Tennessee teams to go into wherever they're playing in whatever sport and to have a palpable amount of fear from the other coaching staff, from the players, from the fans, from the media. The hell with the gritty little teams. Oh, those tough little Vols are coming in. The hell with that. Get back to being big dog status. Play angry. Do that, but know that it's like I think we're all of an age. Well, I am. I remember Spurrier in the 90s, and the difference between there you go. The difference between Spurrier and Fulmer, and we all remember, I mean, I had season tickets then. We went in for 3 or 4 games a year. Is the Vols teams, as good as they were, they hoped to win. Spurrier's teams expected to win. That was the big difference. And I want to see this team today expect to go out on that field in that glorified high school ballpark and win.
I don't care if it's glorified high school or not. We just want to win.
Whatever it is, wherever it is. I mean, if they play it at the high school, that's fine too. Just go in and win wherever you're playing. Yeah.
That's it.
The rest of this field, and you mentioned there are a lot of teams that are better on paper. Wake Forest defeats Alabama in 2, although not sure they should have in game 1. That's up for debate. But LSU looks really good right now.
Yeah.
Wake Forest looks really good. TCU looks really good right now. I mean, where would you, if Tennessee were to make it, where would you put them? Bottom half of the top 8?
Boy, Chris, it's a great question. I put them kind of right in the middle because I think you hit on the key team. I think Wake Forest looks really good. I mean, they can put. Did they hit 9 home runs against Bama? Gosh, I hate to see it. But they put the ball over the wall continuously.
I just caught that.
Their pitching staff is terrific. TCU, I wanted to say that they're sneaky good, but forget that. They're just good. That's a good baseball team. And boy, you feel for Indiana State, right? I mean, they had the super regional at their home, but you know what? They did the right thing. I've worked the Special Olympics before. It's such a great organization. Those young men and women who were part of Special Olympics, Indiana State made the right decision. It was unfortunate for the coaches and athletes, but TCU, I mean, the way they disposed of Arkansas at Baum-Walker, that's a team to be reckoned with. I also think, being out here in California, and we've all watched Stanford and Texas play, but I think those teams do fall into the category of being sneaky good. Florida's obviously a good team. LSU, I put Tennessee kind of right in the 4th or 5th there. But, guys, and you're closer to this than I am, how many of us looked at last year's 8 teams in Omaha and thought Ole Miss was going to come out of there and win?
It wasn't until they started buying all those drinks at the
all those shots.
All those shots that you really thought Ole Miss might have a shot. The team was winning so that they could continue to buy shots, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is not the first time.
Shots beat chicken.
Mississippi State. I mean, nobody really expected Mississippi State to win a couple of years ago, especially with Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter going for Vanderbilt. So, look, I mean, once you get there, it's not exactly you have an opportunity. You have your chance, and everybody's kind of got a chance because you don't know how anybody's going to respond once they get to Omaha. It's a different game. I mean, you know that, Mo.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to tonight. These are a couple of obviously pivotal ball games, but a couple of I don't know that we expected either of these series to be as competitive as they have been. I mean, you got to give Southern Miss credit. I think even if you're a UT fan, you got to give Southern Miss credit because I think a lot of people expected UT to just go in there, stomp all over their logo, win 2 games, and come out. And that has not been the case. That's a really scrappy Southern Miss team, a really good team, and tonight's going to be a dogfight, I think.
No question. Your expectation tonight?
Yeah, I think Mo makes a very good point. As a fan, as a Tennessee fan, you want them to go in there and sweep a couple games, and I said, but listen, anybody who follows college baseball, that is a good baseball team. Southern Miss is a good baseball team. That is an outstanding coach. Again, not breaking news. Well coached. I mean, his entire roster of coaches, excellent. They have guys that can spray the field for average. They can hit for power. I think tonight, one of the things that I'm encouraged by from the Tennessee side of it is, as I said at the top, the pitching staff is lined up tonight. I mean, pretty much everybody that they would need, they are available. That is a big advantage for Tennessee. But I think, Chris, and you both said about how when you get to Omaha, anything can happen. Well, this is a pivotal deciding game, winner take all. And all it takes tonight is a base running error, an error, a passed ball, anything that can turn this game one way or the other. It really is up for grabs. I mean, on paper, it seems like Tennessee should have a little bit of an edge. But again, you're playing in front of their 6,000 fans. I wonder, fellas, if you guys have thought about this, because I certainly have. I wonder how much this Tennessee team, is thinking about last year when they got to the final game against Notre Dame. They're leading mid-late innings, and then it all got away from them. I'm just wondering if there's any level of that in their heads tonight that's motivating them just a little bit. It won't win them a game, but it might motivate them just a little bit.
I hope it's motivation and not when does it
No.
when does it go off the rails?
I think it's motivation to stay locked in.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens. Play 9 innings regardless of what happens. Stay sharp, stay focused.
Because even if you're losing late, didn't you think back to last year? Hey,
Happened to us.
happened to us. Why not us?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Christopher, thank you for taking time with us today. We appreciate it. We look forward to tonight's game. If it just happens to get in, hopefully we'll just keep an eye on the weather, and look forward to talking to you again soon, man.
Fellas, it's always a great pleasure to join you. I love your show. I tune in more than you think, and we'll see what happens tonight. Thanks, guys.
We appreciate it, CG. Thanks.
All right. Real quick, the news I was talking about in the rundown is Alabama expected to hire Rob, don't call me Ricky Vaughn, as its next head coach out of Maryland.
Oof. Is it Jason Jackson? Is that the guy?
Who is expected to stay on as the top assistant.
Well, good for him.
Hopefully he's getting a bit of a pay raise.
Yeah, hopefully there's like an associate title or something that goes with that instead of just, hey, appreciate you.
That coming from John Talty of AL.com. So, yeah, Alabama expected to hire Rob Vaughn.
Now, is Rob Vaughn the head coach at Maryland?
He is. His last game against Wake Forest, they lost 21-6. Alabama's last game, they lost 22-5. So clearly Vaughn better. About 2 runs.
Interesting.
All right, we'll come back. We've got more Road to Omaha. Ben McKee joins us from 24/7 Sports, so stick around here on Main Street Sports Day. Presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, is coming to you from the Lee Company studio here in Columbia. Glad to have you guys with us, Chris Yow and Mo Patton, as we continue talking #Road to Omaha. But before we do that, huge news in college softball. Jordy Ball has announced she is transferring to Nebraska.
So she's going back home.
She's going home.
She got her ring. She's going home. That's crazy.
I guess that's how the Big Ten grows the game. Get superstars instead of leaving your conference to come to you.
Get superstars with national championships.
Wow. That was huge news.
That's. Was she? I mean, who knew she was? She in the portal?
This is coming from Marin Angus Combs.
Well, I mean, if anybody would know, she'd know.
Who is in Nebraska.
Yeah.
She said, we've been talking about this all year. Nobody believed us. So apparently that was her plan from day one, was go get a ring and then come back to Nebraska and try to grow the game there. Nebraska just became an instant contender.
What year is she?
Freshman.
That's what I thought.
Freshman.
So she's got 3 years left at Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. UCLA kicking, punching air right now. What? We got to go face her every year?
Well, not just UCLA, but the rest of the Big Ten as well, I would think. I mean.
Yeah, but UCLA's the team, I guess Michigan maybe, but UCLA's the team to beat going forward in the Big Ten.
Maybe.
Now it's Nebraska.
At least for the next 3 years. Good Lord. That's nuts.
Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. Anyway, we go now to Hattiesburg, where joining us is Ben McKee at Ben McKee 14 on Twitter, and he is covering Tennessee Southern Miss down there and looking forward to some rain, I'm sure, Ben. Here it's in the forecast.
Well, not necessarily looking forward to it, but expecting it. Ben, are you already at the Pete?
I am at the Pete and sitting in the great booth that John Wilkerson takes home of here in a couple of hours, where John Wilkerson's going to produce so many great calls for Tennessee baseball. So, yes, I'm over here, and it's cloudy, and hopefully the rain stays away and we can get this baseball game in tonight.
Man, good luck, first of all. But given the route that Tennessee has taken to this game, and we were just talking with Christopher Gabriel about it, you have to feel pretty good about where UT is right now, particularly from the pitching aspect.
Absolutely. I think Tennessee has the advantage going into this game for exactly that reason. They are set up to be perfectly fine on the mound if their arms pitch to their capability. Drew Beam's going to get the ball, and he was really good last week in the Clemson Regional against Charlotte. Been a little bit of a roller coaster season, but is coming off a very, very strong start in the NCAA tournament. And if he has his pinpoint command, then it'll be a tough outing for Southern Miss going up against Drew Beam, making sure he's spotting that fastball to both sides of the plate and making sure that curveball is good to go will be key for him. But even if he's not able to be super successul, even if he struggles a little bit, Tennessee is locked and loaded in the bullpen as well. Chase Burns only throws 10 pitches yesterday. He's good for 70, 80 pitches, if not more. You've got Aaron Combs, you've got Kirby Connell. I mean, you just have guy after guy after guy. A.J. Russell, the freshman, who's been very, very impressive.
The freshman from
season.
Franklin, by the way. We
Yes.
have to get that in. So.
Yes, absolutely. The freshman from the Mid-State, who they think has a very, very bright future and could be in the starting rotation next season after Chase Dolander gets drafted and Drew Lindsay probably gets drafted. Drew Beam will be back, also a Mid-State native, along with Chase Burns. So Russell he's got a bright future at Tennessee and has not pitched this weekend and could find himself in the game today, trying to punch a ticket to Omaha for Tennessee. And Southern Miss not as in good of a spot when it comes to pitching and arms available. They're going to go with Nico Mazza, a sophomore righty who's both started games and come out of the bullpen. But they need one of their top bullpen arms, Will Armistead. They need him to kind of be on point today. He threw a couple of pitches yesterday and had to be pulled from the game after loading the bases. Didn't have his control. But he'll be fresh and ready to go. And if Southern Miss is going to be able to upset Tennessee and go to Omaha, they're going to need him to follow up Nico Mazza with a strong performance out of the bullpen.
Now, Mazza has only given up 3 homers in 12 games started this year and is 5-1. At 84 Ks in 69 innings, feel that you got to think that at least Southern Miss feels somewhat comfortable, since Tennessee's biggest offensive threat is the deep ball.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see if that trend continues. Tennessee obviously touched up Tanner Hall yesterday, and Tanner Hall had not been hit around like that literally in his entire career. Had never given up 6 runs to a team in an entire start, and gave up 6 runs to Tennessee in 1 inning. And that's the difference, not taking anything away from what Southern Miss has done this year. They're a very, very good team. I think they're as good as some of the teams in the SEC, if not better. They're an SEC quality program, but they haven't faced the Blake Burks and the Christian Moores and guys like that all season long. And when they have faced SEC teams this year, it hasn't necessarily gone according to plan. So we'll see if that trend continues, because it certainly did not continue for Tanner Hall yesterday. He got roughed up, which was very, very unexpected. Southern Miss was feeling good after winning that first game, and then they're throwing out their ace for the second game, hopefully to send them to Omaha, and it did not go according to plan at all. So we'll see if that trend continues. That's something that I'm keeping my eye on.
Ben McKee with GoVols 24/7 joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ben, obviously a lot was made through the week about Hattiesburg hosting this super regional and not Knoxville. And a lot of UT fans talk pretty bad about Hattiesburg. How has Hattiesburg been?
The food's been great. The food's been great. Had me a nice bourbon salmon night 1. Had some jambalaya last night, and just had some barbecue, some burnt-ins before I hopped on here with y'all. So the food's been great, but it's been fine. To me, it's all about baseball this weekend, and that's the only thing that I've cared about. And it's been a terrific environment all weekend long. here at Pete Taylor Park. And I think that's all that you can ask for this time of year. Just a very passionate college baseball program in Southern Miss and its fans going up against, the villains of college baseball. But the villains also have a very passionate fan base behind them as well. So it's been a terrific college baseball environment all weekend long. And that's really all I care about. I get to do this for a living, and I'm very blessed to do so. So all the outside stuff, I don't really care about. The weather has been the most frustrating aspect for me, especially on Saturday during that first day trying to get that first game in. It was a nightmare. And I was surprised that they waited so long to suspend it, because the thunder and lightning was crazy here in Hattiesburg, and there was no chance of them playing. But yesterday it was real hot, but a beautiful day for baseball. And my phone, which you can't always trust the weather on the phone, but it said that it's a 50% chance of storm since like 11 a.m. And it's cloudy, but there hasn't been a single drop of rain yet, knock on wood. And it seems like a fairly nice day for baseball at the moment. We'll see if that trend continues.
You know, Ben, as you talk about the villains of college baseball, will UT be wearing their black jerseys tonight? Do we know?
If I had to guess, Tony Vitello is a superstitious man, and they won in the Smoky Grays, and things did not go well in the black jerseys on Saturday. So if I had to guess, they'll be black back in those Smoky Gray unis. That's why he stuck to the black at Clemson last weekend. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
That's right. So if I had to guess, they'll be in the grays. Although they are going to be the home team today because of the stupid coin flip rules that college baseball has. So maybe they wear whites or cream. I don't know, but I'd expect to see the Smoky Grays.
Don't get Yow started on the coin flip.
I think it's fine in this situation. In a 2 versus 2 situation, it's fine.
I don't like it. If you're gonna reward Southern Miss and allow them to host, let them host. Let them host. Let them be the home team.
Reward them but why have you rewarded them? Why did you reward them?
Here's the thing.
Well, that's a different conversation.
That's absolutely a different conversation. Once they are the home team, they're the home team, and everything that goes with that.
Yeah, I do think this weekend should be in Knoxville. I mean, Southern Miss had a great year, and I think you have to split hairs between the two. I think both were deserving of hosting this weekend. I really do. But when you look at the resume on the field, Tennessee slightly better, and especially after going to Clemson and winning that regional in the way that it did, I think you have to reevaluate where the two teams were coming out of the regular season. And I do think Knoxville is more accommodating than Hattiesburg. So I do think that this should have been played in Knoxville this weekend. But at this point, it is what it is. And I do think it's unfortunate. It seems like the decision was made because of a little SEC fatigue and maybe a little bit of dislike for Tony Vitello. And I think we're in a bad spot if we're making decisions based off of those factors and not RPI and resumes on the field and things of that nature. But at this point, it is what it is. And Tennessee's got to find a way to win down here in a crazy environment this afternoon to go to Omaha.
Is that why the game's at 5:00?
TV purposes, yes. You know, ESPN and TV, so they want their viewers.
Allegedly, they had slots at 3, 5, and 8. I don't know. But with the impending weather, one would think they would try to start it as early as possible, and yet
they should have started at 11 or 12. They should have. And I know Southern Miss sent the weather report, and everybody down here was trying to push them to an earlier start. If we would have started at 11 or 12, I mean, we would have had no interruptions whatsoever. Again, it looks nice right now. We'll see what it looks like later on in the day. But I guess LSU beating Kentucky and Kentucky not forcing a game 3 kind of didn't help the situation. If Kentucky was able to win last night and they have to play today, then Tennessee probably does play at 3 Eastern.
And I guess had Stanford won last night and UT Southern Miss been the only game in town today, they probably would have played earlier as well. But now they kind of get to set up that doubleheader type situation with this game and then Stanford, Texas coming behind.
Yep, Tennessee would have started even later, I think, if Texas would have won last night and advanced to Omaha. I think
NBA Finals are at 7:30
right. All while
right.
So the college baseball is going head to head with that. But
I can tell you which I'll be watching.
Well, I won't be watching Texas Stanford. truly couldn't care
I
less.
probably won't be watching Heat Nuggets either though. So yeah.
Be watching the Braves and Tigers.
Hey, Ben, obviously a lot of talk about the pitching situation for UT, but this offense seemed to kind of find some footing yesterday as well.
They did, and boy, did they need it. It just looked like a completely different baseball team yesterday. Even finishing that game one, and I know it resulted in a loss, but I guess those last 4 innings or so, it looked like a different baseball team compared to when they started the game on Saturday. It seemed like they were maybe a little bit of shell shocked, if I can get my words out, about the environment here in Hattiesburg. And it seemed like that delay and the game being suspended and resumed on Sunday morning, it kind of let them decompress and let the tension go away and just relax and settle in. And they didn't look like the environment bothered them whatsoever yesterday. And really, they had every reason to let it bother them. They were already losing that game one. They go on to lose the game. They're throwing Tanner Hall. The Southern Miss fans are in it. They're going crazy. And they didn't flinch. Even when Southern Miss jumped out to that 4-0 lead, they battled right back. And they got more comfortable, and I think that led to success at the plate is the point that I'm getting to. Christian Moore hitting a double immediately after that 3-run home run. I think that also sparked them a little bit after Southern Miss threw that first punch. Griffin Merritt then hits an RBI single the opposite way. Blake Burke finally gets a hold of one and hits the church out there in right field. And boy, did he smoke that baseball. I mean, he absolutely crushed that one. Very, very impressive swing. And then, kind of the unsung heroes setting the scene for Jared Dickey. Cal Stark drawing that walk, seeing 9 pitches, a very, very impressive at bat. Maui Ahuna, who has struck out quite a bit this weekend, goes the opposite way for a single. Hunter Inslee hit by a pitch. So a lot of different individuals played hero in that inning to kind of help push Tennessee over the edge. And to me, it all started with that Christian Moore double to lift them up after they got punched in the face. So this offense, to me, goes as Christian Moore and Jared Dickey goes. I mean, yesterday, Christian Moore ignites the inning, and then Jared Dickey kind of finishes it with that 2-run single with the bases loaded, and it turned into a bases-clearing Little League triple when the Southern Miss center fielder misplayed the baseball out there. So if Tennessee's going to win tonight, it starts with the pitching, but Jared Dickey and Christian Moore, they need to set the tone offensively as well.
Ben McKee with GoVols 24/7 joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Ben, as we have gone through, talking about this UT team heading into tonight's 5 o'clock first pitch against Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Andrew Lindsay's from Waverly, Drew Beam is from Murfreesboro, Chase Burns played at Station Camp, A.J. Russell's from Franklin, Jared Dickey played at Friendship Christian over in Lebanon, Hunter Inslee's from Huntington. The job that Tony V has done recruiting in-state talent is, especially with a 2-time national champion right up the road from us, I mean, it's got to be really impressive and really encouraging to this fan base, I would think.
Oh, they love it, especially when you hear the stories of Vanderbilt not thinking that Jared Dickey would develop at the college level. And he's come to Tennessee, and during his redshirt year, I want to say he lost 40 pounds. And if that number's wrong, he simply lost a lot of weight and got it in great shape and has been awesome these past 2 seasons and has developed after that school there in Nashville that nobody in East Tennessee really likes. Didn't want him because they didn't think that he would develop. And same goes for Drew Beam. Vanderbilt was kind of slow on him, late to the party, and Drew Beam ultimately came to Tennessee because they being Vanderbilt were hesitant to take him. So I think Tennessee has benefited from a couple of those decisions, but we all know that Tony Vitello is an ace recruiter. I mean, he's as good of a recruiter in the country, not just college baseball, in any college sport, football, basketball, baseball. I mean, Tony Vitello is up there with anybody when it comes to recruiting, and you've seen that. And I even think it highlights the point even more when you look at a story like a Jake Rucker, who came through the program a couple of years ago, and he's from Middle Tennessee, and his little brother, I believe, played at Good Pasture these past couple of years. He's coming to Tennessee. Jake he never heard from Vanderbilt. He heard from Arkansas coming out of high school, was talking to Tony. And when Tony got the Tennessee job, Arkansas didn't have enough scholarship money for Jake. So when Tony got the Tennessee job, Tennessee brought Jake Rucker to Knoxville with him. But then Carson, his younger brother, who is going to be a freshman next season for the Vols, and they really are high on him, they scooped him up right away. They didn't even allow him to be recruited by Vanderbilt and not just Vanderbilt, any SEC program. I mean, as soon as they thought Carson Rucker could play baseball, Tony Vitello scooped in and got his commitment before anybody else could. So it speaks to his recruiting ability. And now you're also seeing Tennessee follow more the Vanderbilt footprint as well in terms of their recruiting nationally as well, because it's turned into a significant college baseball brand. Blake Burke is from California. They're recruiting the George as well. Christian Moore is from Brooklyn. Drew Gilbert was from Minnesota. Seth Halverson is from Minnesota. They're recruiting the Arizonas as if there's two Arizonas. But they like that state as well. That state has been kind to them. So they're recruiting all over, even internationally, Puerto Rico, Florida. Liam Spence was from Australia. It just speaks to their ability to recruit, especially when you consider the facilities and how far behind the 8 ball they were. That's what's allowed them to get to this point. They're great baseball coaches. They develop their players. Quentin Eberhard is a great strength coach, but it all starts with the talent that they're bringing in, and they're beating out the Mississippi States, the Ole Misses, the Alabamas, the Floridas, Vandy, so on and so forth for these elite talents. And when they get them to campus, they develop them. And that's why they're on the verge of potentially going to their second College World Series in 3 years.
If you get a chance to talk to Tony V before the game, we need to see Kavares Tears tonight, speaking of local kids. So
yes. I'm a huge Kavares Tears fan.
If you know him, you can't not be.
1,000%. He's a great young man, but I was more so referencing the power in that bat. I love watching him take batting practice, and he hits it as far as Blake Burke does. He's just kind of been in a log jam out there in the outfield behind Christian Scott, who's from Clarksville, Hunter Inslee, Jared Dickey. The whole Tennessee outfield is from the mid-state practically. So Kavares Tears has been in a log jam, also competing with Dylan Dreiling, who's from Kansas, speaking to Tennessee recruiting nationally. He's been in the log jam, but they're really excited about him, and I think he's going to have a big bat in the lineup next year because, boy, he can swing it and has been very impressive. And he may have a bigger role at this point in the season if he didn't have those 2 injuries earlier in the year. That kind of slowed him down as well.
Ben McKee again of GoVols 24/7. Ben, thanks for taking some time with us today. Looking forward to tonight again, 5 o'clock on ESPN2. And we'll find out if Tennessee can find their way to Omaha. Appreciate you taking some time with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Absolutely. Be safe coming back, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, this day in Braves history and a little bit of Braves chatter, but also Brady McATAMNEY of Bless You Boys, talking a little Braves Tigers as well, coming up at 3 o'clock. So stick around. All of that right after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bar & Joint. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Vroom, vroom. Time for the Rackley Roofing 200, and it is going to be June 23rd out at the Nashville Super Speedway. And we partnered up, all of us here at Main Street Media TV, and we have joined with Rackley Roofing to send you. Yep, what you got to do to win? All you got to do is go to your favorite Main Street Media website, look for the Enter to Win banner, click there, and you're in. Like Flynn. Isn't that cool? Main Street Media TV and Rackley Roofing sending you to the races.
Music City will be rocking June 23rd through the 25th with a different sound. The sound of NASCAR. The Ally 400 is back at Nashville Super Speedway, and this year, it's a night race. NASCAR in Nashville. It's guitars and fast cars under the lights. Visit NashvilleSuperspeedway.com to get your tickets today for the triple header weekend.
June 12, 1983, Dale Murphy went to give 6-year-old Elizabeth Smith a cap and a T-shirt prior to the Braves matchup with visiting San Francisco after the youngster lost both her hands and a leg when she stepped on a live power line. But when Elizabeth's nurse asked Murph to hit a home run for her, he responded the only way he could, hitting a pair of bombs at the launching pad and accounting for all the runs in a 3-2 victory.
Oh, we won? Hot dog. Didn't happen very often.
A TDIBH with a Braves victory, huh? That was this day in Braves history. Yes.
With Murphy hitting home runs, those and wins didn't correlate a lot.
Not back then. You're right. But yeah, actually won a game during the 1980s. Go figure.
Won a division once, right? Just the one in 82?
I won it in 82.
Hey, it could happen. Well,
that's called a streak. Yeah,
exactly. So, getting into a little bit over, obviously the National Series. You asked me if a sweep was necessary. I said no. Winning 2 of 3 would be fine. Did not expect to lose the Bryce Elder start, though.
No, I mean you had Schuster, you had Smith-Shawver. Well, you had Smith-Shawver, you had Schuster, and you had Elder. Of those 3, Bryce Elder would be the guy that whose start you would have least expected to lose, and yet
here we are.
Here we are, coming off of a 6-2 Nationals win against Bryce Elder, who came into the game with a 2.26 ERA, which led the National League. I don't know what it's up to now, but it's higher. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, remember, that was the knock on him. He only beat the Nationals and the Marlins.
Yeah, he wanted to.
Well, now he's beating everybody else except the Nationals.
It's like, I can just so y'all know, I can lose to him too.
Apparently.
How about we don't worry about that, Bryce? I mean, I'm just saying. Let's see, what is Bryce's ERA today after 2.69?
Ugh. Yuck.
I know, it's terrible. And, honestly, it's almost like the Nationals were due.
Well, it's almost like the Braves were due. They had won 7 straight.
Right. They had won 7 straight.
6 in comeback fashion. I mean, they won their final 2 in Arizona. They won all 3 against the Mets in historical comeback fashion, and they won their first 2 against Washington. And you win 7 in a row, and the odds of winning an 8th are probably not great because, again, they drive Mercedes too.
They do, in fact. Miami lost on Saturday, but No, on Friday. I apologize because they won Saturday and Sunday. So still 3.5 back. Both teams 8-2 over their
The
last
Mets lost on Friday, but won Saturday.
but lost yesterday. So
they lost 2 of 3 to the Pirates.
31 and 35 are the Metropolitans.
Hate to see it.
Don't you? And so, you know, Atlanta right now, a lot of folks asking questions like, should Snit shake up the lineup?
How? I mean, tell me what that shakeup's going to look like.
Moving Matt Olson to Ozzie Albies' spot, and Albies up to 2 potentially. I could understand why you might think it's a good idea.
I can understand the concern. One, Snitker's not going to shake anything up.
No, it's not.
He's unshakable.
His lineup is his lineup, and that's his lineup.
But again, the Braves have won 40 games with
Right.
Matt Olson hitting second.
This is where
Matt Olson, 18 home run, 48 RBI. Matt Olson, by the way.
Does he strike out in sometimes bad situations?
He strikes out often and often in bad situations, yes. But he's still got 18 home runs and 48 RBIs, and he leads the team in both.
I mean, I don't know how you argue with 48 RBIs. That's my thing. I mean, we're barely
65.
60. Yeah, we're 65 games into this season. We have 97 to go, and he's halfway to 100.
I don't understand.
I think we're okay.
Yesterday, I mean, the rather have Freddie than Matt flared up yet again on Braves Twitter, where I spend way too much time. But here's my question. What would Freddie give you right now that Matt Olson is not giving you that would result in the Braves being better right now? Again, 40 and 25, best record in the National League.
Maybe fewer errors, and obviously hits more contact. But I don't know how many runs he's driven into this point. 44. Hit 5 fewer homers. Boy, he gets on base a lot. Almost a 1.0 OPS.
So is he scoring more runs than Olson?
My guess is I'm sure he is because he's on base more, but I don't know that to be a fact.
I mean, as with all the analytics we've got, there should be some kind of way of taking Matt Olson out of the Braves lineup, putting Freddie Freeman in the Braves lineup, and show me what the difference is in terms of wins and losses.
I'm sure there
because
is.
it's all that I care about.
I'm sure there is. And look, I don't know that it makes that much of a difference. Again, it is what it is. I guess my biggest concern in that situation is, you know, you've got Matt Olson for a lot longer, and
he's what, 2 years younger?
And he's 2 years younger, and there's just, for me, yeah, I mean, Freddie has scored 13 more runs than Matt, and again, Matt's OPS at 844, which is still pretty darn good, considering. So,
well, and he scored 13 more runs for a team that's 3.5 games worse as of this moment than the Braves.
Well, and to me, I mean, the Braves are more talented than the Dodgers. They just are, and they'd be as talented, if not more, if they had Freddie Freeman. We all understand that. It is what it is.
The bottom line is this is not a Matt Olson issue.
No.
This is a Braves love affair with Freddie Freeman issue.
And that's
Get over it.
It's okay. I get it. I mean, if that had happened to Chipper, I would have been distraught. And if Twitter had existed at that time, probably would have gone nuts.
Well, I mean, I swore off the Braves for about that long when they traded Dale Murphy.
No, I was that way with Jason Hayward.
Well,
Literally, go look at my, my Facebook memories when they traded Hayward.
Well, I mean, I was that way with Murphy. I was that way with David Justice. And, by Hayward, I was getting there. But actually, it was Andrelton Simmons that pushed me over the edge.
Let me tell you, this is a funny story. It wasn't the trading of Hayward that got me. It was when they gave Markakis 22. That's when I went. I was like, okay, this is. I'm done. I'm done.
I
mean, I was turning in my
up
tie
with this.
tack
I will
everything.
not put. Yes,
I
yeah.
had turned in my ring and my tie tack.
Turn in your tie tack and your fez. Yes, yes, all of that gone.
So anyway, Ronald Acuna Jr. Mo leads the world in All-Star voting with over 1 million votes, and 3 Braves lead in positions: Acuna, Orlando Arcia,
Orlando Magic,
and Sean Murphy. Not surprised there.
And
all of those 3 deserve to be leading their positions.
And Albies and Riley are second.
Yeah.
At their positions, I think. So
Albies, I can see. Riley, I don't know if second's the right spot for him. There's a few other third basemen that I might put in his stead.
Arenado and who else?
Maybe Machado.
But San Diego's so bad.
They're so bad. They gotta have a representative though. So it might be Machado. But yeah, I mean, Arenado's got to be the guy. But yeah, anyway. This week, over the next few days, I'll be taking on the Detroit Tigers. And we're going to talk about the Detroit Tigers in a little bit more depth than we typically talk about Braves opponents. And we'll do that with Brady McATAMNEY, who's standing by. So we'll take a break. When we come back, Brady McATAMNEY joins us on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stay with us. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Welcome back to Today's Better Health. I'm Colleen Barton, and I'm here with Dr. Gil Kentoff and Dr. Wendy Toohey, and we're talking about the latest treatments in back and neck pain.
Many people, Colleen, come to see us with neck and back pain, and they develop tingling and numbness down the arm or lower back pain that develops into sciatica shooting down their leg. And for these patients, we have an advanced treatment technology, non-surgical decompression therapy that we really introduced to this area. It separates the vertebrae and creates a suction to allow fluids and nutrients back in to heal the disc naturally, relieving pressure on the nerve and on the joint. It's an amazing treatment.
We've been helping patients like this for the last 30 years, helping them get back to work, get back to their family, get back to the life they want to live.
I mean, it really is amazing. Technology helping us to live pain-free and better lives.
Right.
And I bet you have a special offer.
The first 25 callers will receive an examination, x-rays, review of our findings, and their first treatment, all for $39.
Call 615-551-3897 today to receive this special offer.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yow. He's Mo Patton. And collectively here with Justin Kulik on the controls, Main Street Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We come to you.
There he is.
There he is.
He's awake.
He is, in fact. We come to you from the Lee Company studio. Make sure to scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen to see if there's anything Lee Company can help you out with your HVAC or plumbing or garage door. Don't forget the new garage door subset of the company. It's just one guy. He's based right here in Columbia, but he'll help you out for sure. Right now, though, we continue talking a little Braves as we go to Brady McATAMNey joining us now to talk about the Tigres of Detroit as he sports the Old English D on the Navy ball cap. Gotta love that. Brady, welcome in. What's up, man?
How we doing, guys? Good to be here and talk about a team that going to be trying to avoid a 10-game losing streak tonight.
Well, hey, the last time we played a team that had a 10-game losing streak, they beat us twice. So, good luck.
But we didn't get swept.
We didn't get swept, but hey, you know. And now they're on a 5-game win streak. So, hey, things could
Watch
be
out for
looking
those
up,
A's,
man.
Watch out for those A's.
Well, the Braves may be good for what ails your Tigers. So just hang in there. We'll see.
That's the hope. That is the hope.
Hey, at least you've got and I lost it. Just Baez, Javi.
Oh,
we sure do. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if it's an at least or not.
Yeah, no. So yeah, Javi's he's having a bit of a rough year. He wasn't great last year with the Tigers in his first year, but we thought, maybe he finds that spark this year. He played in that World Baseball Classic, Team Puerto Rico, had a great time in that World Baseball Classic. We think, maybe Javi's back this year. He's been worse than last year. Last year had a 671 OPS, not very good, down to 575 this year. He's only hit 4 home runs. The most recent was kind of a garbage time home run against Arizona in the very last inning, down by 4 or 5 runs. So not much meaning to behind that one. He's only walked 10 times this year out of 253 plate appearances, 60 OPS plus. His defense, while it started out very well, he's starting to kind of make some errors again. It's a lot of frustration going on, and Javi's kind of been a scapegoat at times, whether it's fair or unfair.
Most of Javi's errors historically, though, are when he's just kind of not engaged, aren't they?
Yeah, he's kind of had some mental errors. A lot of the times with the Tigers, it's been some throwing errors. We know that he has a really good arm, and sometimes it can be because he just overthrows Spencer Torkelson, who's a big guy in his own right, but he just sells it or throws it wide or even leaves it in the dirt, which, again, you can say that's the concentration thing. So we have seen that.
Leads the team with 29 RBIs.
Yeah, 29 RBIs. That's that leads the team somehow.
Well, I mean, that's not his fault. I mean, it's got to be guys on to get driven in, I guess. But, I mean. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if I can find the exact numbers, but they are the worst team in the league with runners in scoring position. I'm seeing if I can find it here. But they
so not only do they rarely get on, but when they do get on, they still can't get them in.
They get left on, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, all right, here's them with runners in scoring position, hitting 207 with runners in scoring position this year, 302 on base percentage. So, they draw some walks. And that's actually something the Tigers have done well this year is they've been drawing walks. So, that's something that they've been doing very well. But, walks don't necessarily drive in runs unless the bases are loaded.
The bases are loaded.
Exactly. So, runners with 2 outs in scoring position, they're hitting 226. When it's late and close, they're hitting 197. Tie game 236. Margin within 4 runs 193. While behind 208. High leverage positions 212. It's not very good. That's what I'm trying to say here is when it comes to crunch time in the big situations, there just hasn't really been someone that has stepped up and really, taken over. And the one who really has done that is Riley Green. And you guys don't have to worry about him this series because he's missing time with, it's not quite a stress.
He's on tour with Luke Combs. Oh, different Riley Green.
I prefer our Riley Green, the one who's hitting over around 300.
But it's not in tonight's starting lineup.
He's on the injured list. He's been the Tigers' best player by far. He's got a 1.5 BWAR, which is by far the highest of all Tigers hitters. He's hitting 296 with an 805 on base, OPS, 124 OPS plus. He's got the 4th most walks on the team. Still the 3rd most home runs, despite not having played in a couple weeks. 18 RBIs, which, not bad for a guy who's hitting 1 or 2 most of the time with guys who don't get on a ton in front of him. He's been great in center field. We see a lot of Michael Harris highlights out in center field. Riley Green does a lot of similar stuff. He's absolutely the Tigers' best player, but ever since he went out, I believe they are 1-11, 2-11, something like that. So that kind of shows how important he is to that lineup.
Well, Riley Green, who was a high school teammate, by the way, of Vaughn Grissom.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah.
Now, over the last 10 games, Miggy has kind of come on, 8 for 22 with 4 doubles and 3 RBIs. Jake Rogers slugging 426 for you guys. So there are some parts of this lineup that you do have to be careful around if you're Charlie Morton tonight and whoever else is going against them the next couple of days.
Yeah, and Matt Vierling is back in the lineup today. He had missed some time on the injured list, and he's back in the lineup tonight. That's a guy who is better than Jake Marisnik, who has been in center field for the last couple weeks. So I'm definitely taking Matt Vierling there. You look at the Tigers lineup tonight against Charlie Morton. Zach McKinstry hits the ball well. He's having a pretty solid season. He's a guy that was picked up on the waivers before the season, and he's been very solid for the Tigers. Spencer Torkelson, if you look at his baseball savant page, I don't know if you guys are too big into analytics, but he's got a lot of red circles there. He hits the ball extremely hard, but has been unlucky. He's got one of the higher expected slugging percentages among guys who are struggling. You look at Corbin Carroll on Arizona, and his numbers look very similar as far as expected slugging, expected batting average. He just gets unlucky. And of course, part of that is because he needs to hit the ball out more. He's only got, 5 home runs. So for a guy who broke Barry Bonds' home run record at Arizona State, you'd like to see him hit more than that. Kerry Carpenter is back from the injured list, and he went 8 for 12 in this last series since coming back from that injured list. That's a guy who was I believe 19th round pick, something like that. Let me see here, actually. Kerry Carpenter was 19th round pick out of Virginia Polytechnic and has been very good for the Tigers. He's been one of the better hitters on the team, hitting 284, 4 home runs. Of course, missed some time, so his numbers could be a lot higher than that. And then there's Javi, Nick Maton, guys who struggling a little bit. Matt Vierling, I just said he's back. Zach Short is a guy who you might not know about, but is hitting the ball pretty well. One of the 4 guys on the team with an OPS plus higher than 100. Andy Ibanez, don't got to worry about him. And then Jake Rogers, like you just mentioned, he leads the team in home runs actually with 8. So that's a guy who can hit the ball out. Very, very good defensive catcher. Not going to really hit for average or anything like that, but has some power.
26-37 are the Tigers coming into this series, which kind of has trap game written all over it. Like you said, much in the same vein as the trip to Oakland a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, before this, you take that record, and before this 9-game skid, I mean, you guys were playing 500 ball.
Yeah. And, I mentioned that Riley Green injury. Ever since he went down, that lineup just lost a lot of the punch. And it wasn't a very good lineup to begin with. But when you lose by far the best player, a guy that, we haven't had a guy really since Miggy was in his prime that you could kind of count on for a base hit or to get on base or to do something, someone that when they get up to the plate, you got guys all around the lineup like that where, they come up and you're like, all right, he can do something here. I got confidence that he'll do something here. And Riley Green was finally doing that for the Tigers lineup. And when he goes down, it loses almost all of its bite. Pun intended or no pun intended, however you choose to see it.
And here's the thing. It's not like you – here's the worst part. Not only does Riley Green go down, but you guys are facing the toughest part of your schedule to date. Texas lost 2 of 3. Of course, at Chicago, okay. But then you had Philadelphia and Arizona.
Yeah,
both
now
of those
Atlanta.
teams are – and now Atlanta. I mean, it's a tough stretch to be without your best player. and oh, by the way, throwing a bullpen game tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, exactly. You mentioned the bullpen game. How about this for pitchers who are out currently? Eduardo Rodriguez, who before going out, 2.13 ERA, 2.02 ERA plus. He's been fantastic. Spencer Turnbull hadn't been great this year. Kind of still recovering from that Tommy John injury. That's a Alabama guy out of the SEC. Alex Faedo, another SEC guy out of Florida, he was having a decently solid season. Matt Manning out, and of course Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize all missing time this year. Bo Brisky, who had who did a good job of eating innings last year, also out. So that's an entire starting rotation's worth plus that the Tigers are down right now. So that's why you're seeing a bullpen day today and Reese Olson tomorrow, who started the year in AAA, not doing so well, but since coming up to Detroit, he's been pretty good.
Casey Mize, another SEC guy out of Auburn.
That's right.
When did Mize go down? I don't remember.
Last year, actually, about a year ago.
So he's not been back at all this year then.
Okay. But
Probably
he could conceivably come back this season at some point.
If they were competitive in September, which at this point it's not looking like they will be,
sure.
maybe they'd kind of go for it, but I don't see it happening. Rushing a guy back, well, maybe not rushing, but bringing a guy back from Tommy John before he's fully ready to, not necessarily always the best idea, especially if you're not really competing. So I would imagine he'd probably be back next year. However, Matt Manning and Tarek Skubal will definitely be back, hopefully within the month.
Okay. Well, we understand not having your full plethora of pitchers, as you guys will see. I think they'll see Smith Shawver.
They've got Charlie tonight. They've got Strider tomorrow night, and then they've got Smith Shawver in the finale on Thursday. Really odd road series for Atlanta because they just played 6 straight at home. They're going up to Detroit for 3, and then they're coming back for 4 against Colorado.
Yeah, that's odd.
Little getaway series up north for them.
Well, hopefully this one goes better than the last trip up north.
Yeah, well, get out of the heat for a little bit anyway.
There is that.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be pretty hot up there right now. It's been hot. It's been hot in Michigan this summer. I'll say that.
And it's been mild here for the most part.
Including today.
To this point. Yeah, it's really nice outside right now. I don't know how things are going in Clarksville, but man, and speaking of, what is going on in Clarksville? What's going on in the world of prep sports up there?
Yeah, so I mean, right now, summer ball. football teams are kind of getting their first looks at what they got right now. The Clarksville Whirlybirds of the Ohio Valley League are playing ball in their very first season. I'm checking them out later this week.
The Whirlybirds.
Whirlybirds.
The Whirlybirds with a Z at the end. One word with a Z at the end.
What is
they play at Rossview, coached by Coach Rice, who actually started up the Rossview program back in the day in 2001. So pretty cool stuff there. And
what is the significance of Whirlybirds to Clarksville, Brady?
I'll have to ask him that. I'll get back to you on that one.
Inquiring minds would like to know.
Oh my gosh! And they got a propeller on top of their. The logo has a propeller on top.
Oh, the logo does, not the actual.
The logo. No, not the. Hey, that would be real cool.
He's got a Fez with a propeller on top.
How cool would that be, though, if they went out there with their little
that would be so great.
Hats? Yep.
Oh man,
that might make a good banana ball type deal there.
There you
go. No doubt. Well, Brady, as always, we appreciate you taking some time with us today, man. Looking forward to this series. We are. I don't know if you are or not, but
if we can get the Braves to maybe look ahead a little bit, like they maybe did against Oakland, we'll steal one, break the losing streak. That's all I can really ask for. I think Tigers fans would be happy if we could take one of 3 here, especially if it was against Strider. I know that would be pretty cool.
He's not been great.
He's not been great.
Late, so
he's not been great.
We'll see what happens.
It might be the one to get. So Brady, again, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you again soon, and enjoy the Whirlybirds and everything else going on in Clarksville.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll take a short break here. When we come back, rapid fire reaction here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. This is Chris Yow with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow and Mo Patton here. Mo, I don't know. Sam Rothman of News 6 in Knoxville has tweeted, she is hearing. This is literally third-hand information from apparently rumors that Tennessee.
Third-hand information from apparently rumors. Okay,
and yet she's sports for News 6. So I don't know.
Oh, Sam is short for Samantha?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm hearing the hashtag Vols game has been pushed back to 9 Eastern. Tennessee was loading the bus, headed to the stadium, and were told to go back to their rooms.
Big if true.
Big comma if true, no doubt. So I don't know. Anyway, rapid fire reaction. Mo, will start in the world of golf.
Before you do that,
ahead.
I'm looking at Vol @Vol_baseball and not seeing anything to that effect. They tweeted out a 6 p.m. ET start time 5 hours ago and tweeted out a video 51 minutes ago, and no other references to start times on Vol_baseball. So Make of that what you will.
Check your local listings. Keep your eyes peeled, etc. on hashtag Vols, I'm sure. We'll find out. Real quick, we start in golf because fantastic finish at the Canadian Open, but it wasn't necessarily the last putt that was so fantastic. We have a video here. Let's take a look at what happened during the celebration at the Canadian Open. Keep your eye on the guy in the back with the white letters on the black hat. Continue. Celebration. Oh, what is this? An absolute perfect form tackle.
That was a great form tackle.
The problem is...
That was a great form tackle.
The problem is that...
Dude's got good feet, man.
The person they tackled...
The tacklee?
Was also a PGA Tour member and was celebrating with his friend.
Hey.
Nobody told the security guard.
I don't know that.
Look, he was just doing his job.
I don't know that.
I'm not mad at all, but Adam Hadwin, who, again, also a PGA Tour golfer, was so excited for...
Hey, if he's a PGA Tour golfer, he should know better.
Well, and, that's kind of the thing, but I guess he just thought, oh, they'll know who I am.
Nope.
But but Nick Taylor there with his celebrating with his with his caddy was,
and that's all he'll celebrate with.
Yeah. I love
hey, you're either inside the ropes or you're outside the ropes, right?
My favorite part about this is you can see at the very beginning of the video, the security guards see him. Watch this. Hold on.
Just kind of eyeing
Right
him,
here,
huh?
on the
Sizing
right
him
side.
up.
He's like, hey, no way.
No, I
Comes
got
around.
my eye on you, bro.
And
No,
there
sir.
he goes.
No, sir.
Filled the C gap.
Yep.
Golfchannel.com. Brentley Romine writes, but as Bubbly Spring Hadwin approached Taylor, an overzealous security guard and perhaps former aspiring CFL linebacker quickly ran interference, executing
I don't think he was overzealous
I don't
at all.
either.
I think he was just. I think
doing
he was
his job.
I think he was perfectly zealous.
He was exactly the right amount of zealous.
Yes. I think his zealous was on point. Yes.
Absolutely beautiful. That's all I'm saying. It was absolutely beautiful. Oh, man.
Adam should wear a flak jacket going forward.
No question. Hey, let's move to football real quick because we had a conversation about where Jacksonville was going to be playing their football games while their new Stadium of the Future is being built, which will be the Stadium of the Future for about the same amount of time that Dippin' Dots was Ice Cream of the Future. I mean, does anybody remember that? But apparently, Jacksonville is considering playing their home football games at Daytona International Speedway.
Daytona International Speedway is a world-renowned sports and entertainment venue and hosts a full schedule of events each year, said Daytona International Speedway President Frank Kelleher. As good neighbors in the Florida sports community, DIS will be speaking with the Jacksonville Jaguars to see if we can assist them with their potential upcoming facility needs around our scheduled events. Certainly interesting. The Speedway hosted 4 college football games from 1974 to 75 with teams like Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, and Mississippi Valley State playing in the 4.5-acre infield within the Tri-Oval. I think there will be a few more people there.
I don't know what kind of crowds Bethune-Cookman was drawing in 1974, but
or FAM or Mississippi Valley State, yeah,
or anyone at that. I mean, I guess. Okay, so are they talking about playing inside where they paint Daytona on that grass area? Is that big enough to play football?
You asking me like I know.
How far do you have to walk from the locker rooms to get to the field?
I guess they're gonna shuttle you.
I mean, truly, I see that. I mean, this is a pretty large area. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, is Daytona closer to Jacksonville than either?
Than London, yes.
than either Gainesville or Orlando.
I mean, Orlando, I could see potentially. And yes, it is closer because you have to drive basically either through or by Daytona to get to Orlando.
So, obviously, Florida plays in Gainesville. Does UCF play in Orlando? I mean, at this Orlando facility that we are referring to? Is that where UCF plays?
I'm assuming. Are they not talking about the Citrus Bowl?
I would assume that they're talking about the Citrus Bowl.
Camping World Stadium or whatever?
Yeah. And it does not specify where in Orlando.
I mean, clearly that would be the better option.
But I don't know that either of those college football programs is going to want to share.
We are way over time.
Oh, we've got a show. We're actually doing a show here, huh?
We were just having a conversation.
My bad.
Okay, well, we'll see you guys tomorrow.